Yo, what's up, basketball heads? It's your boy Crush. Let's talk about John Morant running his mouth, talking about he's not worried about anybody in the West. Nothing wrong with having confidence. Confidence is a great thing. I mean, you need confidence in life. So nothing wrong with being a confident person, having confidence, believing in yourself. That's great. But you got to have limits to your confidence. And John Morant haven't done anything in the NBA for him to be talking like, he won a ring or he won some crazy accolades, he won MVP or anything of that magnitude. If he had all that under his belt and he was talking it would be warrant like, okay, he did this and that, okay, which would make more sense. It would justify him talking his smack, but they haven't won anything. And it's funny, just yesterday they lost to the Warriors without Stephen Curry. A Stephen Curry-less Warriors beat John Morant team yesterday, but he's talking smack saying, he's not worried about anybody in the West. You got to learn to be humble at times. Once again, you could be confident, you could talk your in the side, but don't go delusional. Don't go overboard and start, looking crazy because you're just saying a lot of, and you haven't proven anything. It's all about proving, you got to prove yourself. Once you prove yourself, you get the green light where you could say certain things because you have shown, okay, look, I did this and this and this. But John Morant haven't accomplished anything yet for him to be going crazy, and talking all this smack. The same way he was delusional saying, he could beat Michael Jordan and all this other crazy stuff. Not saying that Jordan is this mythical figure that can't be beat, but come on, man. Like, this is Michael Jordan we're talking about. And that's the thing. A lot of these younger players, they never saw Jordan play, or most of the older players for that matter. So they'll talk smack or, in their mind, it's like, this guy couldn't be that good. But if only John Morant understood the type of player Michael Jordan was and just look at his resume, speak for itself. So I'm not saying you can't have confidence and talk your smack, but, within doing that, you need to have certain accolades to back it up. You can't just be talking, nobody in the West. I'm not worried about anybody in the West. I'm just going to run through the West. It's nothing. That's easy. The only team that I'm worried about is in the East. That's the Boston Celtics. Like that kind of mindset and overlooking others, that'll easily get you beat, basically. When you do stuff like that, you will easily get beat, and that'll humble you, and you make you look stupid. I don't have a problem with him being confident and him believing in himself, and him talking to a certain extent. But you can't be delusional when you're talking. You could talk your shit, whatever the case may be. Just don't be super delusional with it when you're talking, where you're now coming off crazy. You're looking crazy. People are like, what? He said what? You don't want to come off like that. You want to say things, but say it within the realm of your accomplishment, like how far you are, where you are in your career. Don't say things like you're Kobe or Jordan or somebody who have done a lot. Like you got some MVPs and you're not there yet, Ja. And it's funny thing, because Ja used to be more humble, a few years back, obviously. With his success and, fame getting into his head. That's how it be, when you get successful and fame goes to your head and all these things is getting the attention and all this. Now he's more outspoken than ever. And, eventually, you become delusional. You start feeling like, I'm the king of the world or whatever. And then you just start saying crazy stuff. Because, yeah, when he said that, the whole thing about, he would destroy Jordan, it was like, okay, Ja, man. But this what happened, man. But this is nothing new. Most of the younger players are like this. A lot of them, have this mindset where they don't respect what came before them, or the older players. They don't respect, the past, basically. It's like, we're here now. This is our gen, and who gives a crap about what happened before us, basically. Which is not a good mindset to have, because you need to study the game and learn things from the older players, or the ones that came before you, that laid the path for you, basically. So you got to learn to be humble, man. You could have confidence and talk your shit. No, that's okay. But don't go too far with it, basically. Don't make it delusional where it comes off as like, what is this guy talking about? You don't want that to be the case. So John Morant, through everything he said, basically, they lost yesterday to the Golden State Warriors with no Steph Curry. And Golden State been playing really bad as of late. Terrible road record. Been losing games on the road. And they still lost, but he's over here talking about he's not worried about anybody in the West. And I get it. It's only one game, of course. Everybody has a good night. It happens. But either way, man, you talking that smack, you got to back it up, especially on the Christmas game. You got to win the game. You got to win the game. Don't get me wrong. So far, Ja Morant hasn't disappointed. You know what I mean? This guy he's a monster. So he hasn't disappointed. He's a great player. I love his game. I love his game. He attacks the rim. He attacks the rim with ferocity. He's not afraid to go up in there. So, I like his game, man. He has a nice game. So I'm not saying that, like, once again, he can't talk his smack. You could talk his smack. if you're going to talk your smack, you just can't go too far. You know what I'm saying? Don't be delusional about it. Stay in the realm of things that make sense. Don't become nonsensical when you're saying crazy stuff. But yeah, man, that's just it, man. I just wanted to touch on Ja Morant, talking smack about the West and saying he's not worried about any team in the West. As always, man, I'll holla. As always, we just talking basketball. Hit the subscribe button, like, comment, share, holla at your boy.
It's all about the game and how you play it. It's all about the game. I'ma say it. It's all about the game.